Good morning, Kahal Kadosh, Shavua Tov Mevorach. Today, Monday, the 15th day of Iyar, the 16th of May, the 30th day of the Omer. Today's class graciously sponsored by Eli Levi and family, Le'ilui Nishmat, his beloved grandfather, Eliyahu ben Simcha Halevi, Alav Shalom. Additionally, today's class dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat, Mr. Charlie Saka, Yeshaya ben Lora, the Neshamot, have an aliyah in Gan Eden. Amen. I apologize for the slight delay, especially to the Torah audience. I have to deal with an unexpected situation, but Baruch Hashem, everything is good. So we'll continue with the Sefirat Omer. As we started to introduce yesterday, the beautiful day of Pesach Sheni, this week of the Omer welcomes Aharon HaKohen as the host of the week, and Aharon HaKohen today welcomes Ishak Avinu. So the Usfartem Lachem explains that part of the Hoda'ah, part of the Sefirah of this week is about recognizing and expressing gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the way that Hashem created the world. And it's something that we say in our daily prayers. Amechadesh betubo bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. That Hashem renews with His goodness every day the creation of the world. What does this pasuk mean? Is actually part of the Yosef prayer that we say every day of our life. Imagine yourself, you look at the beautiful waterfront terrace that construction is about to begin soon, Be'ezat Hashem. And what do you see? You see beautiful trees, beautiful landscaping in front, in the other side of the water, and you say, wow, what a beautiful thing. According to what we are learning today, it is not granted that the landscaping and the trees will be there tomorrow. It is not granted. They are here today, they were here yesterday, they were here the day before. Every day that is there, it's a Hiddush, it's a renewal from HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the aspect of the creation of the world. We don't have to go far. What happened in Surfside? Every time, as somebody that is in Florida for 30-some years, okay, 1988, so do the number, okay? I'm here over 30 years, and I remember vividly that one of the things that impacted me in the early days living in South Florida was driving between Miami Beach and Surfside. And the first thing you saw was the Champlain Towers with the mirror balconies. If you remember that building, all mirror balconies. The glasses were mirror. Something impacting, because you don't see no buildings nearby. Literally, good morning, Shavua Tov. You don't see buildings nearby. All the new buildings are brand new. And you see suddenly this magnificent dark gray, greenish type of building, metal railings, and the sliding doors of the condominiums were mirrored. I'm not sure if they call them tinted or they had a film, but this is how it looked. And I remember that very vividly, okay, going back many years. And suddenly, in 1 second, the tragedy and the calamity, it did happen. So that's part of the message of today. Number one, it says, don't take anything for granted. Understand that every day, Hashem, thank you very much, Hashem delivers the blessings accordingly. Not only that, these are natural things that we see through life. But what about miracles in our daily life? It says, how many salvations, redemptions, liberation, and protection comes collectively and individually. Okay? For example, he brings here the story of Purim. We don't have to go through the entire story of Purim, correct? But what was the main theme of Purim? Our days were numbered as a Jewish nation. The threat was imminent. The decision to get rid of the Jewish people was activated. But in the minute, in Spanish they use a soccer game, in the last minute, yani, suddenly reversed. From exile or from danger to salvation. Okay? I'm going to bring a few examples. Some of them are not happy, and some of them has to do with being a police officer, with your permission.
Yes.
We're not going to tilt the camera for obvious security reasons, okay? But let's go quickly to a person who leaves home. A person gets up in the morning, a person leaves the home, a person does whatever they need to do, and they come back home, Baruch Hashem, safe. Okay? Then your wife asks you, how was your day? And you say, okay, nothing special. Hold on a minute. The Omer of today says, nothing special. You left your home, you traveled, you went to the business, you dealt with customers, you bought merchandise, you sold merchandise, you got paid, and you got home safely to your wife and children. How many miracles happened that day? A lot. Okay?
My wife was kidnapped.
Yes. His wife, many years ago, she left home to run some errands. She was kidnapped. Baruch Hashem, she was redeemed and released.
In Colombia, right?
In Colombia. Baruch Hashem. And Hashem blessed them with many more years of life. Let's say that you are in the line of fire, meaning to say you are a police officer, police sergeant. You are on the street. Every traffic stop, correct? You need to take the proper precautionary measures, correct? How many times you hear things? What happened? Look what happened to Buffalo. God forbid. A senseless crime. Literally, and you obviously we're dealing with a white supremacist, anti-Semitism, racism. We have all the dramas. But can you imagine that people go to a supermarket to buy food for their children, for their families, and suddenly an extreme individual does whatever he does? And regretfully, there were casualties.
And in Milwaukee also.
Many places. Yesterday, a church in California.
In California, yeah. Churchgoers.
Yes. Can you imagine the type of world that we are living? So every time you leave your home and you come back home healthy and safe and without, God forbid, problematic or dangerous situation. You know, the other day, somebody told me a story that she was in a store. I don't know which country, but robbers came in. They put a gun on her neck. They took all the jewelry, all the money.
In Miami?
I don't think it was in Miami. No, it wasn't in Miami. Okay? But she asked me, do I need to do something? I said, listen, the moment they put a gun on your neck, you better do something. I mean, what do? I said, I don't know, do a soldato de A, You probably have to do Birkat HaGomel, you have to give a blessing of gratitude, that God saved you. And again, let me clarify. I don't want to go to the extreme of some of the cases that I just described. But the Musar of today of the Omer says, how many miracles Hashem does for us? And the miracles, although I use an extreme example of security or safety, but what about the minor miracles as well? That you have merchandise to sell, for example, you sell it, you get paid, and with that you're able to provide for your family. And thank God you're able to pay your rent or your mortgage, your food, your insurance. He says, isn't that a miracle as well? You know how many people regretfully at this moment are having difficulties paying rents? Because the rentals and food, obviously, because rentals are skyrocketing. Somebody told me he's going to move now to, I don't know, he told me the name of the city. I said, what is that? He said, no, 2 hours away from Orlando. I said, but what's there for you? He said, I don't know, but I cannot afford the rentals. I mean, this is a challenging moment for all of us. Forget about it here. Here is untouchable. I'm dealing with cases on a regular basis. Here, Sunny Isles, Surfside, Miami Beach, Hollywood, everywhere the numbers are skyrocketing. Are they going to continue exploding or they're going to implode? I'm not a prophet. I don't know what's going to be the future. But the fact that a person, Baruch Hashem, is a bubble, correct. Despite the fact that all this is going on, somehow, somewhere, Hashem gives us a way to be able to deal with whatever we need to deal with. And it says this is part of Hashem's strength of keeping us alive and well, Baruch Hashem, and that needs to prompt certain level of recognition from our part. The real estate, you're in the real estate business. Things are untouchable. Inventory is low, nothing available. Somebody called me, Rabbi, maybe you know of a good deal. I said, I don't know of any good deal at this moment. If you're willing to pay premium and go into a bidding war, maybe you have a chance. Correct? Let's continue. And therefore it says that Hashem, through His revelation to us, through the constant miracles, an act of kindness that Hashem bestow upon us, it says that these are things which are visible. But there is a third department, it says, the miracles which are not visible. The extra layer of protection that Hashem brings upon us, that we don't even know that there is something challenging or dangerous heading our way at any level. At any level. And suddenly there is this invisible wall of protection that we think that our life was calm, so to speak, but behind the scenes there was an extra insurance policy that protected us. This reminds me of a story. It's a long story, but to make the long story short, someone many years ago was kidnapped in South America, right? Who set up the kidnapping? An employee of the person.
Always.
Okay? Unfortunately. The family paid the ransom. The police got involved. And the police was able to rescue the person. And also to rescue all the money paid. I was a child when that happens, put it this way. And so the family had a question what to do with the money. So first, the family gave a nice donation to the police department. I'm not sure if that's legal or not. I'm not asking. In South America, it's a welcome gift. Okay, they call it a holiday bonus. Token of appreciation to the police officers. In America, I'm not sure you can do that. Maybe you can support widowers or you can do Police Benevolent Association. But in South America, there are certain ways of doing with certain things. And then they have a nice chunk of change. What they do, they donated all the money to charity. They supported widows, they helped the orphans, they helped needy brides, they helped pay tuitions to students. 7 figures. 7 figures. And I heard when they made a se'udah, hoda'ah, they made a meal of gratitude. Someone asked the person, you know, you got the money back. Why did you distribute the money? It says, because that is the least that I can do to express my gratitude to Hashem that I was saved unscratched, without any side effects, without any missing limb. I'm not going to go into the graphic details of what sometimes these type of situations do happen. So therefore, it says here, additionally, it says something very powerful. It says, many times, the person themselves becomes a magnet to trouble. How?
Very sure.
Hazaku Baruch. If the person suddenly becomes unostentatious, that means you show off too much. I remember somebody told me a story. I don't know where in Europe is this, but this is in Europe, that there is a bridge that you walk through, is a touristical attraction, and outside of the bridge there are all types of monkeys that they jump around, all sizes, and the tour guide tells you, don't wear sunglasses, don't wear a purse visibly, keep everything inside of your pockets, and don't eat food. Chazaku Baruch. Because these monkeys are trained to feel an attraction to anything that is not human. Sunglasses, cameras, purses. I don't even know where is this place.
India, by any chance?
I don't know. I don't know. In South America, some countries they tell you, don't use the cell phone on the street. Keep it inside of you. Don't wear expensive jewelry.
But that's in all Europe now.
Okay, don't wear expensive jewelry. Why? Because the person becomes a magnet, God forbid. Can you relate to that? Easy to understand? Be ready for the next statement. And it says, many times, the person, the way they talk, the way they speak, it becomes a magnet to trouble. Why? Today is not a speech, it's not a class about the dangers of speech. Speaking too much is dangerous. Why? Because the more we speak, the more we may get into trouble. Correct? You agree to that?
Silence is golden.
Chazak u'baruch. Silence is golden.
Mais le silence est d'or.
Oui. The Talmud says, for staying quiet, for talking, you get 1 coin. For staying quiet, you get 2. The Mishnah, it's not Mishos, it's the same message. La Mishnah in Pirkei Avot talks about Rabbi Yochanan. And they ask Rabbi Yochanan, can you tell me something that impacted you from spending so many years among the great sages of Israel? You know what Rabbi Yochanan says? I did not find the best medicine for the human body like silence. Tobi Shetika, you ask me, what's the best vitamin for the human body? Silence. רבי יוחנן בן זכאי. לא מצאתי לגוף טוב אלא משתיקה. From all of the good things in life, stay quiet. How many dramas can be avoided if we don't answer back? Especially at home. Or if we are more careful or more selective on the words that we say. That's easy to understand. But here adds one more component. It says that many times the way we talk, we attract trouble into our life. And that's why it says, Lishmor et pibul shono, the person should make the effort to keep their mouth, to keep their speech, and to use it for good things and to positive things. And it says, avoid as much as you can of saying things which are not pleasant. But I will say one more thing. In one of the classes, we also learned that the same way that there is a certain level of restriction to say something that is not good to another person, it's also important to say something good to another person. Why? Because when we say something good to another person, you know what we accomplish? We are lifting the spirit of the person. You're encouraging. You lift the spirit. Very powerful way. Very powerful lessons. And therefore it says, when you talk to your friend, bemetek sefatayim, use a pleasant way of speaking. What does it mean? Respectful. Ube'etzot tovot. And always try to deliver a good message or advice to your fellow men. Because at the end of the day, there is no greater level of joy for the person themselves, physically and emotionally speaking, when the person feels respected by their fellow men. Deep words. Again, the world out there may listen to some of these messages and they say, what are you guys are talking about? If I don't talk this way, nobody listens to me. If that's the level in your life, you need to press the reset button. Because as Yehudim, is expected a certain level of behavior and speech and ways of communication more than it was expected from somebody from the world or from the street. Because we have the Torah as a guiding path, as a GPS. One more message. It says as follows. Comes the Gaon of Vilna, the famous Gaon of Vilna, and he writes in Even Shelema, and it says, every moment, in Hebrew goes, Shekol Zeman Uzeman, She'adam Hosem Piv, Zoche Leor Ganuz. In English it means, every moment that a person stops their mouth from saying something especially inappropriate or not suitable, the person merits a hidden light that no malach or creation can ever imagine. These are heavy words. If you're asking me which light are we talking about, I don't know. You can only get this light when it comes to the moment of self-control, which is in a way Devora. Devora not only means discipline, Devora also means self-control, Devora also means restraint. I want to say something, and guess what? I can say sometimes things that I can put the person down. That's the Yeserara talking. God forbid, I don't promote and I don't act that way. But many times there is an inner voice that tells you, say it. Say it. Correct? Get back at him. And then you suddenly say,
Be quiet.
quiet. At that moment, be ready to receive your bonus for the day. And that bonus doesn't mean necessarily money. Bonus, according to what we learned today, is salvation, protection, arriving to your home good, healthy, happy. God forbid, how many times you hear crazy stories. God forbid, people leaving the home, everything is fine and dandy, and suddenly drunk driving, has v'shalom, or malfunctioning. Look at the plane, right? That landed in Harbor Beach.
Yeah.
Bridge.
Miami Beach, we had three gentlemen that were sitting
But
having
how-
breakfast, and a lady lost control of her car and went to the
In which city?
Miami Beach,
Miami Beach. 3 individuals having breakfast in a restaurant,
in a restaurant.
in a sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
And the lady lost control of the vehicle.
In an instant, their lives were changed.
That's it. So today's message is, count the blessings. Count the verachot, the visible and the hidden ones. My good friends, I apologize again for the slight delay in starting the class today, but I couldn't not give the class, even though I did have something to take care of. But Baruch Hashem, everything is under control. Shavua Tov Mevorach to everybody. We're going to be saying Kaddish. Baruch Adonai Le'olam.